to this point. It's a 2-touchdown difference as the teams have already come back out onto the field for the second half. So let's get you back out as well to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Set to receive the second half kickoff, and they trail here as we resume play. This taken in at the goal line. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. The Rams offense ready to begin quarter number 3. And right out of the gate, they face what you'd think could be a pretty important drive.
I would say so. You know, they're down 2 scores. That's not the end of the world. It wasn't the strongest of first halves, but for them to start clawing back, they've got to start putting a little pressure on that defense, start cutting into this deficit. You can't have 3 and outs and expect to get that done.
Yeah, they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 46 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
And a lot of times, these plays, they either go for nothing or they go for big yardage. And here, they got to the outside, turned it upfield, and ended up getting a nice little gain out of it.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. Able to get there and pick it. And the Broncos are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. The first half did not go their way, and that's not going to help matters at all. An interception here on the opening drive of the third quarter.
Obviously not what they were striving to accomplish. But you know who's really upset on their team? The defense. Already trailing, they're going to be counted on to try and hold that score at least where it is.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
Again from the 20 after the incompletion. Here's second and 10. Now back to throw. And he comes back with one complete. And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. Here to his running back, and he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. Well, after an interception, last thing you want to do is go 3 and out, give the ball right back. They avoided that.
Yeah, you definitely do not want to do that. I remember in college I played with a really big-time player on defense. We ended up getting an interception as we passed the offense coming out. He told him, if you don't take care of this football, you'll have to answer to me later. You definitely want to take care of it, pick up first downs.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Well, I think after that run, the defense is getting back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
On play action, they'll throw. He'll buy some time right. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Two first downs have him up near midfield now on 1st and 10.
And this nearly an interception, but it's incomplete. Well, a turnover really would have helped him there, but not to be.
Trying to get their tight end involved finally. That's the first time that they've looked his way. He's kind of been a forgotten man in this offensive scheme.
Yeah, didn't look his way at all in the first half, and I'll bet you the offense coordinator made a note at the half and said, let's get him involved because he could be a big-time playmaker for us.
They'll roll him out right. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line.
Containing him is becoming a big problem. We've already seen this once earlier on this drive.
Yeah, and so now 2 times this has happened. Do you adjust something?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you got to start thinking about your rush lanes. Try not to either get too wide or too narrow. Make sure someone is there waiting for him to take off.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes in bounds.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
There's a throw over the middle. It's taken in by his tight end. And he'll be taken down by the face mask, it appeared. And yes, out come the flags.
So a tug on the face mask, and that's going to cost him 15 yards.
And sometimes it'll go unnoticed, but that one, pretty obvious for everyone to see.
Hands it off out of the gun.
And he'll take this one inside the 10 down to the 8. A gain of 3, second down.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now.
Second down at 7. Here's a handoff out of the gun.
And a nice pickup there. He gets about 5 down to the 4-yard line.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. The Rams go nickel here defensively on 3rd. He'll look to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. A great play there. There to make the grab. And the Broncos will extend their lead.
And that's a drive that makes everyone happy on that bench because they accomplish exactly what they set out to do. Take care of the football, eat up a little clock, end up in the end zone. Now they've got a cushion for the rest of the game. So they didn't just help themselves offensively, they helped their defense out as well.
Now for the point after. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns and 21 points. A pretty long drive that time. 11 plays all told. And it culminates in a touchdown by the Broncos. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. The offense for Los Angeles returns to the field.
And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done. Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. And the Broncos get there and take him down. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up second. I don't care if you're taking it in round 1, you're undrafted, whatever. As a rookie quarterback in this league, you're going to have games where you face adversity like this.
Lessons. All the time you're going to face these lessons. The key for this guy is, will he be able to bounce back in the next one? Because right now, this has not been his game.
Now this one over the middle into the hands of his tight end, complete.
They'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for third down. Back to throw here. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Hammond. And this won't be enough. A good secure tackle, and they stop him a few yards shy at the 46. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
That pattern and scheme was well defensed on third down. He tried to just sprint from one side of the field to the other, and they got it to him quickly. But no chance at yards after the catch there, and they stop him short.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
They're just looking to do more of the same. They were good in the first half. They've extended their lead so far here in the second half. I don't know, they're just looking good hitting on all cylinders right now.
And sometimes that means a head coach who really has a finger on the pulse of the team may not have anything to say at all. May tell the rest of the coaches,
up a little bit.
Just back it off a little bit. This team has it under control. I remember hearing about Bob Knight years ago in basketball, getting ready to give the final speech before the gold medal game in '84. And on the board, Michael Jordan had written, "Coach, after all we've been through, there's no way we're losing tonight." He didn't even give a pregame speech.
Wow, interesting. Well, right now, no speech is needed.
But really, that was no surprise there. They've been running it well all game, and I know goals change all the time, but any team will take that type of run each and every time.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
The Broncos send out their punter now as he'll punt it away for the second time. That'll be a 44-yard boot, just a yard on the return as he's covered up quickly. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. They'll look to throw here. Steps away to his left.
And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Well, Charles, in the past, a lot of people called this offense one-dimensional.
I think you did.
Well,
I think it was you.
I'll be honest, I did. I think the fan base is hoping with this young rookie that they can put some wrinkles in this offense like we just saw.
I think you're exactly right, because we did have that discussion that what we've seen in the past from them, they needed to broaden, and they have done it here. Look at what he's bringing to their offense, and now as a defensive coordinator, you've got some extra work to do to prepare for him and their offense.
Back to throw.
On the slant, he's got Davis.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. Now a handoff as they run left side. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49.
2nd and 1 and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down. Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Rams trailing, but they do have the football as we start the 4th and final quarter. That is incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
The Rams on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. That's quickly to Atwell on a slant. And he is going to have a Rams first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. He'll drop to throw. And Davis with it left side. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
2nd down at 4. From the gun, he'll hand this off.
And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26.
He may be a bit undersized compared to the modern-day NFL defensive tackle, but what he lacks in size, he definitely makes up for in his ability to make tackles in the run game as well.
The Rams on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. Here it's 3rd and 3. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 12. And he'll bring this one back to the 29. Another solid game-changing play for this defense with the interception. At this point, though, I don't know that it's game-changing. I mean, they've got this one in firm control.
And you always hear about, you know, those stories about someone left their game plan behind and maybe you benefit from it. I'm not going to say that that happened, but they certainly have appeared on defense to be a step ahead this entire game. Guys are always in the right spot in order to make a play.
The offense has had its moments, too. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. And to give this time to the tailback. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. And he will have a first down here at about the 40.
With nowhere to throw it, decided to scramble, and a nice job, CD. Got the yardage that he needed.
Yeah, and his teammates are certainly going to appreciate that effort, even if his coaches don't, because they would have wanted him to slide and protect himself. But he chose team gain over personal protection.
They run the counter now on first down. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at second down.
Look, all any running back wants is a little bit of room, a little bit of space in order to maneuver. But he also understands how difficult it is for his offensive line up front. So if they give him any space, he realizes his job to make more out of it than what they give him. Picks up 3 on that carry.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
102 yards rushing now on 23 carries so far.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Now they run the option on second down.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25.
Well, that's the fear any defense has when the quarterback gets involved in the running game. You don't usually account for him, and he's hurting them today.
Yeah, he's been very involved in the running game. Defensively, when you got the coverage good downfield, how do you account for him, though?
Occasionally, you start to spy him. Take someone who has the same agility, who can dance with him, run with him, and try and keep him in the pocket.
Yeah, it'll be especially critical here as we come down the stretch in the 4th. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9.
Brendan, every great running backs coach I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, you're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves. You're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's about to run them into submission, hasn't he?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to use that phrase. He has run them into submission.
Wave the white flag.
And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Give him 3 on the gain there. 2nd and goal.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on 2nd and goal. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Broncos will add on to their lead.
Is it okay if I break one of our rules, partner, which is to never call a game over until it's over? Because this certainly feels like it's over after that drive.
Yeah, that was spirit-crushing, wasn't it? And now you just kind of felt the air go out of the balloon.
Yeah, they were fighting so hard to stay in there, and they knew they had to stop them on that drive. But when they were unable to, I think you're exactly right. You could see them sag on their sideline, and I think this one might just be over.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll increase their lead to 28. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. And in enemy territory last time through the interception. We'll see what they do on this drive.
Can't wait to see how it alters what they decide to do in play calling. Do they continue to throw the ball? Do they want to lean more on the running game? It'll be an interesting sequence of plays that they've got coming up.
Does it often affect the play calling with the interception? How much does that change what you do?
I think it does, depending on why the interception was thrown. Sometimes it's just a matter of the defense made a great play, so you continue to come back. But if it's on you, if the offense just doesn't have the confidence, if they're a little bit shaky, maybe try and take the pressure off and run the ball a little bit.
Ball at the 24 and a 2nd and 11.
He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. They get to him for a loss of 4, and it brings up 3rd down on the sack.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair.
So it's Rams football here as we get you reset. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score.
They'll get this one complete to Atwell. And he is going to have a Rams 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. Second and 1. This will be caught once again by Brown.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tougher, guys trying to get to the football.
Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements. At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Here comes the 7th play now of this drive as this is 3rd and 10. Man open left side is Brown.
And he is going to have a Rams 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Now a timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it.
Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's 2nd down.
Tell you what, partner, after he ices down, he's going to need a nice long soak in a hot tub after this one. He's been under duress the entire game.
And once again, hit as he throws. Fortunate that one wound up incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. And now here's a carry heading left. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Now the Rams will signal for a timeout, their second, as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go in the football game. Finally, a first red zone opportunity for these guys. They come up 1st and 10 at the 16. Now a handoff looking right. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. The Rams going to be forced to use their third and final timeout as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in the game. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. So this one will wind up a Denver victory. And, you know, it wasn't a shutout. They did give up the points in the first quarter, but second, third, and fourth quarter, they held them scoreless.
Brandon, if you throw a shutout for quarters 2, 3, and 4, you're going to win a lot of games in this league. And this felt a lot like, almost like if you say baseball, and the pitcher goes through the lineup the first time and the hitters get to see him, and then they come out after that and the bats start blazing, right? I think they saw their best stuff in the first quarter and just shut everything down from that point on. What a great, convincing performance.